All right, beautiful people, welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the True Health Forever podcast, where we share the best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, I have with me the dancing, the beautiful, the corny, the curly, the laughing queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, party people? My name is Sinclair, aka
The
Health Nerd. And yes, excited to be with you. It's a pretty nice day. I feel like I always reference the weather, so I just got to keep that going. It is a nice day here in beautiful Southern California.
Shout out to SoCal.
Yes.
All right. So I feel like it's been a while since we recorded. I think because we recorded a little bit ahead of time before we went on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like a solid week and a half, 2 weeks since we actually recorded. But welcome to 2021. Hey, we here. All right, let's get it. It's been an interesting start, to say the least.
Lord have mercy.
Please have mercy.
Please.
100%. But let's do as usual, a little recap. How's your week been? I know it's kind of been stressful, but if you want to.
The week has been overall pretty good. I feel like we're on, we'll get more into this, but we're on day 6?
Sounds about right. Sure. Monday will be
Tuesday,
day 7.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
6.
We are on day 6 of the Daniel fast. Yes, feeling pretty good. Lost a significant amount of weight, so happy about that. But yeah, overall, like physically feeling pretty good. A little tired just because this is the first full week back to work for me and back to work meaning like getting in the car, going to work, the commute, all that. It's much more draining than I think working from home, I think. But it's been like my first full week back since I think the first week of December. So it's been some time.
Right.
It was a little bit draining.
Right. Imagine how it's difficult for you. It's only been a month. Imagine the folks that even me right now. I've been working from home since March. Mm-hmm. It's been a blessing. Thank you. If I ever have to go back to physical work, Sinclair, it's going to be very difficult.
Yes.
Sorry, you were in the middle of it. Keep doing your thing.
It will be very difficult.
I'm not.
It's like the time. It's honestly the time. Anyways. But it's not all peaches and cream. I feel like this week we did at work lose somebody at work, so that was kind of a little emotionally taxing, definitely at work. But overall, other than that, it's been pretty good. I feel like even though I feel like we've had conversations too, I feel like with the business, with all of our businesses, we've been very intentional about setting forth the plans that we want to do for 2021. And it's always interesting. I feel like the same thing happened in 2020 where you put all your energy and then you're met with almost equal, not backlash, but resistance, and I feel like it's kind of the universe just making sure you're really about it. You about it? You about it? Okay, we gotta make sure you really about it.
Right.
I definitely little things throughout the week have been like, are you sure you got this nice plan? But it's not gonna be as easy as you think. So I feel like definitely getting the first kind of taste of the grind and
I have a term for that.
What is it?
That I just thought about right now. If it already exists, my bad. If it doesn't already exist, you heard it here first, and it's been coined. But it's called, and I'm not gonna say exactly what it was, but gravitational ambition, or the gravity of ambition. Because gravity is the natural weight that obviously we have on this earth, and when you want to stand, when you want to jump, when you're climbing mountains, the higher you try to go, the harder it kind of is. So I feel like when you have your own ambition and you put your energy out there into the world and you're trying to climb, you naturally have to be met with some equal and opposite force. You have to. That's just the law of nature and the law of ambition. So I think it's natural to feel that weight, but you have to train your body to push past gravity. Just like when you're jumping, when you're running, when you're doing all this stuff, you have to train your body to fight that equal and opposite resistance. So
yeah, it's just like you just said, when you're in the mountains, it's harder to breathe.
Yeah.
When you're exercising, things like that, but that doesn't mean you just don't do it. You can,
please keep
right. you can train your body to get used to that. And people who live in the mountains, obviously their bodies adapt. Right. So same type of thing. The more you rise, the more you will adapt to things that come your way.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. My week has also been pretty good to start. We also did lose someone at our job too. Rest in peace. Which is it's just crazy that we both kind of went through that in the same week. Obviously seeing like the White House stuff, or not the White House stuff, the Congressional House, whatever was happening.
The Capitol riot.
Whatever was happening in DC. That was just whoa. And I still haven't completely processed that. But yeah, it's just like, what? Yeah. That happened? All right, that's cool. On the positive side, we had a partnership get solidified.
Let's go.
So y'all know, like we've been grinding with Play Black Wall Street and Black Wall Street, the board game. We don't say everything that's going on until the ink has dried. So we are officially partnering with the Tulsa Race Massacre Centennial Commission. Shout out. So this is a group in Tulsa that's basically in charge of the remembrance event and the just a year long of events for the remembrance of the Tulsa Massacre and Tulsa bombing. They're also in charge of collecting funds. Shout out to Phil Armstrong and the whole Tulsa team over there, collecting funds for the Grand Greenwood Rising Project. There's going to be a really dope state-of-the-art museum and just cultural hub for Greenwood, again, paying homage to the ancestors lost. So we're partnering with them. Yeah. Every game sold, 10% will be given to the Greenwood Rising Project. So if you want to support, be a part of history, all that beautiful stuff, and still get a game, go ahead and go to playblackwallstreet.com, get yourself a game. No code is needed. If you use a code to get a discount, that's fine. You'll get the discount, and we will still donate the 10% to Greenwood Rising. Have another partnership on the works. We'll wait till next episode to do that.
Gotta space them out.
Yeah, gotta space it out. Gotta space it out. Yeah, I feel like, I don't know if I want to talk about Bitcoin. Talk very slightly about Bitcoin just because it's in my head. And once things get in my head, they kind of need to be released.
Yes.
So, long story short, thank you, Devon from the past, for investing in Bitcoin. We appreciate you. And we love you.
We do.
That's all I'm going to say about that. All right.
We love you.
Hey, you holding it down, King, back there in the past. We appreciate you. All right, let me stop. Sinclair, I'm rambling. What are we talking about on today's amazing podcast episode?
Today, we are talking about 3 hacks to improve fat loss.
Okay.
And these 3 hacks are coming from the new book, Eat Smarter.
Shout out.
By my...
We're going to there you go.
By my virtual mentor, who doesn't know he's my virtual mentor, Shawn Stevenson, who is a fitness and nutrition expert. He's the author of Sleep Smarter, which is a really good book about how you can improve your sleep quality. He's wrote his 2nd book now called Eat Smarter, and it is fantastic. And so it is about using the power of food to reboot your metabolism, upgrade your brain, and transform your life. So I'm reading this. It's got some really, really good stuff. And he's really good about, little hacks, like not things that like totally need to overload and change your whole life. But little hacks that can make a big difference in how your body metabolizes food and burns fat. So we're going to give you some 3 easy hacks that you can adopt to improve your fat loss.
Without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, Queen. So we're obviously in our first week of the Daniel fast. Yep. You've already said, you've lost some weight doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? My weigh date is tomorrow. I feel like I've lost weight, but I won't know officially till tomorrow. But I definitely feel better. Okay. My energy is very high.
It's so much.
I've been talking like crazy to the queen, and ideas are just coming everywhere. I know it's semi-annoying. I'm very sorry, but you already married me, so there's no escape on that one. But let's get into the first hack of Mr. Shawn Stevenson's Eat Smarter?
So the first hat, to kind of bring it home, and you mentioned that we're on day 6 of the Daniel fast, and so a lot of the recipes or things that we've been eating this week have been high protein, and I've kind of been wondering, like, wow, I have lost a good amount of weight.
Was it high protein on purpose, or it just happened?
It just happened.
Okay.
Because we had chili, which has a lot of beans, and quinoa, which are both high protein foods. Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily on purpose. It's just that's what we put in our chili. And so why I think that this, those meals have helped me lose more weight is that high protein diets tend to help you lose more fat, and that is because protein, when your body eats protein, it actually takes more energy to digest protein than it does any of the other macronutrients.
And what do you mean by that?
And so by other macronutrients, I mean like carbs and fat. Okay. And so what I mean by that is your body, in order to break down protein, it takes more energy, right? So when you eat fat or when you eat carbs, it takes a little bit of energy to digest it, right? It actually, let me step back. Right? So when you think about calories, right now, most of the time, I feel like for in most of society, when you think about, okay, I'm eating 100 calories of whatever it is, you think that you're actually consuming and using and storing or using all of the energy from all 100 of those calories, right? Like you're absorbing. That's the word I'm looking for. You're going to absorb all 100 of those calories.
You're saying that's false.
That is false.
Okay.
Because
I was like, what's happening here?
Because your body is going to use some of those calories to even digest the food in the first place. Okay, so that means it's only going to leave, depending on what it is, 95 to 70% of the calories actually for your body to absorb. Now, fat only takes about 0 to 5%, I think.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Yeah. This is all in the book.
It's all in the book.
On the book, so if you want to learn more.
Should I just read an excerpt? It kind of says all of that.
You know what? Go ahead. I'll let you find it. While you're finding it, I will try to stall. Definitely get this book, y'all. If you are trying to lose weight, trying to just get healthier, if you're into becoming a health coach or nutritionist like the Queen is, this is going to be a good source for some material. So check it out.
All right. So remember, parts of protein's allure is the fact that it's a building block of your valuable muscle tissue, which helps you burn more calories simply by having more of it on your frame. But another aspect of protein's fat-burning skill is that you can actually burn more calories digesting protein than any of the other big three. As a refresher, 20 to 30% of total calories in the protein you eat goes into digesting it, while approximately 5 to 10% of the calories in carbohydrates are used to digest it. And the caloric energy used to digest fats are generally between the range of 0 to 3%. It's the thermic effect of food, and protein lights up the scoreboard like nothing else can.
Interesting stuff. So I like to draw analogies. I'm sure there's analogies in this book.
A lot.
But I draw it to types of gas that you're putting into your body. There's the 87, which, to be honest, I only use the 87.
You also have a Prius.
I also have a Prius. There's the 89, and then there's the 91. And they're supposed to be more efficient, the higher you go. So it's almost like the protein is the 91. You put it inside of your body, and or it's the opposite, because it burns faster. It burns more gas. Interesting. So maybe the protein is the 87 because it burns the most gas. And I assume the 87, the least quality, burns the most gas, so you need more of it. So as you're putting this gas into your body, and that's all food is, right? Nutrients is gas. Some of it burns differently. Cool
so
stuff.
With that being said, right, the actionable step you can take here is to increase your ratio of protein. Right, and if you are trying to lose fat, you don't want to increase the amount of calories you are consuming, but if you just increase the ratio of proteins to carbs and fat, that can help you burn more calories. So if you think about
getting a protein style In-N-Out burger.
Exactly. So if you think about a plate, right? And if right now you have maybe about 25%, 1/4 of your plate is where the chicken or the beans or whatever your protein source is, and the rest of it is maybe carbohydrates and food. So you don't want to increase your plate, right? You don't want to eat more food. But if you just say like, okay, well, what if now instead of only 25%, what if I eat 40%? So a little bit more of that plate is going to be that chicken, and maybe whatever your carbohydrate source is, you decrease that. So if you're eating it with rice, maybe decrease the amount of rice a little bit, increase in the amount of chicken or beans, and that should help you lose fat.
Can you please, because I see Devon from 2014 being like, oh, great, so I'll just eat a whole bunch of chicken, I'll eat a whole bunch of steak, and I'll just start losing fat, Can you please break down the, maybe some healthier sources of protein that are high in protein but low in calories?
High in protein, low in calories.
Right, ratio-wise.
Yeah.
Right?
So you want to talk about the food source that is the highest protein by weight.
Sure.
Is spirulina.
Okay.
Which is it's a sea algae, right? So you normally get it in like a powdered form, which makes it very easy for you to just throw in some water, throw in a smoothie, throw in some tea or soup or whatever you can blend. But that is the highest source of protein by weight.
Okay, something maybe someone's heard about before.
Okay.
You way up here with it. I see
know.
you though. I see you.
I'm trying to think of but low in calorie.
Yeah, like quinoa. Would you suggest a quinoa?
I don't know. I can't off the top of my head say that quinoa is low calorie. But quinoa is high in protein. Their beans are high in protein.
There you go.
Fish is high in protein. Certain types of fish, but your salmon is very high in protein.
Okay, good stuff. I just want to give them a few stuff. So spirulina.
Seeds are also a good one that are high in protein. So your chia seeds, I believe flax seeds are also high in protein. Hemp seeds, these are all pretty high protein things that again you can just sprinkle into your diet that add protein without adding that many calories. A tablespoon of seeds is not about to add that many calories, but it can definitely improve your protein intake.
Boom. There it is. So number 1 is try to increase the amount of protein or the ratio of protein to carbs to sugars and fats in your diet to help your body burn more fat.
But don't go crazy. Unused protein still converts to fat. So if you're not actually if you're not getting up and moving around, don't think we're saying eat a whole plate of protein. That's not what we're saying either. You still need the others to balance it out. And overloading protein is not going to help you either. So, happy medium.
Yes, ma'am. Number 2. Hit us with the number 2 nugget, wisdom, hack. There we go. Thank you. Hack from Eat Smarter.
So, the second hack is that if you eat a handful of almonds before a meal, that can also help you lose more fat. I wish I had more of a why. But almonds are generally kind of a good fat-fighting food. So there's a lot of studies that show that eating almonds in general, or eating nuts in general, but specifically almonds, help you lose weight. So if just there are studies that will take somebody they're eating the same thing, but one group of participants is consuming a handful of nuts throughout the day, and the other one isn't. And what they find is that the group who is consuming a handful of nuts is losing more weight. So there's a new study, and the reason why I say I'm not going to be able to give you a why is because it is a new study, so I feel like they're still kind of determining the why. But what they did is basically take full of them, ate almonds sometime throughout the day. Another handful of them intentionally ate almonds before they ate a meal. And then the third group did not eat any almonds. And what they found was that the group who ate the almonds before the meal lost the most weight. And they actually decreased the amount of visceral fat. And visceral fat is not good. Visceral fat is the fat that surrounds your organs. So it's a more internal fat. It's not like the fat that you can pinch. This is called subcutaneous fat. So it's not the fat you can pinch, it's the fat
I hope y'all taking notes. She's hitting y'all with all these subcutaneous, visceral. It's like, oh God. Keep going, health nerd. Do your thing.
But long story short, visceral fat, so if you've heard the term beer belly.
Yes.
Right? So a beer...
Dad bod.
I wasn't going to go that far. But a beer belly or, but that generally, there's probably a lot of visceral fat in there, which means it's surrounding your organs. And the reason why that's not good is that can tend to lead to things like heart disease and things like that. So that's why you want to decrease the amount of visceral fat. And actually, what things like this do, like eating the almonds before your meal, is it helps transfer that visceral fat to your subcutaneous fat, where you can more easily
just by eating the
lose
almonds.
it. Yeah, so that's one of another hack.
I'd be learning on this podcast just with I just want to put that out there. I'd be learning. So me and Javon had a conversation like yesterday, and he was like, "Oh, I don't want to gain weight. I got this new baby, and I can't work out as much as I used to, and my sleep schedule's off." So Javon, I'll text you after this just in case you're not listening. Eat almonds, apparently, randomly throughout the day, and before your meal with little Cam, and you just eat your almonds. All right, that's a very, I think, tangible and easy hack to do. Go to Ralph's, Walmart, Amazon Fresh, get you some almonds.
Get you some almonds. Raw almonds.
Unroasted, unsalted.
Raw almonds. Those are the best. I'm not saying you can't get benefits from the others, but another thing that he does mention here is a lot of the others are cooked or roasted in unhealthy oils. So you're kind of going to be shooting yourself in the foot trying to get a positive effect, but now you're also introducing these unhealthy oils that are going to have natural not good effects. So try your best to do raw almonds, and they're going to get the best results from that.
There it is. So I don't think we should incorporate necessarily almonds right now because we're in the Daniel fast and we're already melting away. But I think that's something that we may want to do after the Daniel fast. Just incorporate almonds on a weekly or a daily basis as a snack, or even in the smoothies.
It can be a daily thing, like maybe before dinner, like I know we usually have to either cook or reheat dinner. So like in that process, like, all right, here's a handful of almonds.
I like that. Build it into your system. Build it into your habits. Okay. Anything else on number 2 before we hit them with that third?
That's all I got.
All right. So moving on to number 3 in the hacks from the Eat Smarter book from Shawn Stevenson himself. Shout out to the king. Queen, hit him with it.
The third hack is that when you are eating white rice or white potatoes, 2 things that generally people associate to be not as healthy or
They're so good.
I know, but tend to increase fat or tend to make you gain weight. And that is because they tend to have, after you eat them, it tend to cause an increase in your blood sugar. So that increases that
which means they're high on the glycemic index.
Look at you.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be doing my thing. I'll be listening.
Yeah. So they are high in the glycemic index compared to others. So like white rice is higher than brown rice. White potatoes are higher than sweet potatoes and red potatoes and all of that. So one way you can lower that effect on your body is that after you cook them, refrigerate them, and then reheat it when you're ready to eat them. And what that does is when you refrigerate them and when you allow it to cool completely, it increases the amount of resistant starch. Yep, I got you. Again. So let's start with starch. Both of these things are high in starch. And the reason why you want to address that is because starch kind of gets a fast track to your bloodstream and to spiking your blood sugar.
Because it gets digested quickly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Fast track.
And it's bad.
And that's bad.
Okay.
Okay, you want things to be digested slowly because it's more like slow burning fuel, right? Think about like candy. When you eat candy, you get that quick burst of energy and then you crash, right? You want to eat something like whereas if you were to eat like a piece of fruit, or like a date or something like that, is going to give you more slow burning fuel. So that's what you want throughout your body. You want sustained energy throughout the day. So starch, plain starch, gets a fast track to your digestive system, spikes your blood sugar, causes insulin response, all those things that you don't want. What happens when you allow the white rice and the white potatoes to cool, it increases the amount of resistant starch. So I talked about starch already. What resistant starch is, by the name of it, it resists digestion. Okay. And it sounds counterintuitive, but it's good. You don't want it to, again, because starch is digested so quickly, the resistant starch is, 1, it's actually helpful for your gut bacteria. And 2, it helps it be a little bit more of a slow burning fuel.
Even if you reheat the potato or reheat the white rice, it still has that resistant starch because it cooled?
Yes, I think it's the cooling process that increases the resistant starch. Yeah. So, again, these are very actionable, very like small. You do not have to go and change your whole diet. If you're making some mashed potatoes, like maybe make them the night before and then put them in the fridge, or the day before, put them in the fridge, allow them to cool, and then reheat them. One, that's going to make it less work for you the next day. You can just make your protein and your carbs or whatever and call it a day. But 2, it will help you so that when you are eating those potatoes, it is not spiking your blood sugar as much, which will help you burn more fat. And yeah.
Is that why maybe meal prepping works so well? Because like even if you're having rice, you're having potatoes, all these starches, because you're cooking it all and you're usually putting it in the fridge, now all those things have the resistant starch. And I don't know if it works with pastas and like all carbs, or if it's just those 2, but I remember when I used to do meal prep back when I was doing Grandy, shout out to Grandy. I mean, most of my stuff was carbs, and I would make one big old pot of something, and then I would eat that all week, and I melted.
You did.
I had no idea why I was melting, but I mean, that makes sense, and what I was eating was also low in carbs, and I was eating once a day. Anyway, but I find that's an interesting connection to meal prepping.
It is, and I didn't make that connection either. That is probably a good point.
Okay. Y'all got at least 2 easy ones. I know the first one may have been harder because she said something about spirulina, and you're like, where do I buy spirulina?
No, literally all it just means that eat less rice, more chicken. It's very easy.
There you go. That was good. But I feel like the almonds is a very easy one. Yeah. And then if you make white rice, put it in the refrigerator. Like literally put it in the refrigerator, reheat it. Very easy. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
I see you. All right. We're rounding home base now. Queen, just any last like wrap ups or other nuggets that you want to share with folks. Obviously, if you are interested in learning more information, you should definitely check out the book by Shawn Stevenson, Eat Smarter. No, not a sponsor, but Shawn. Actually, no, you do that. Go ahead.
Shawn, you know what's up.
Say it into the mic.
You know what's up. I'm on the Eat Smarter team. I've been messaging you on Instagram.
Shoot your shot. Shoot.
It's all right. One day we will meet. I'm gonna be on your podcast one day. I remember be reminiscing to this moment. I'm like, man, remember when I was talking about your book? Remember when you didn't know who I was? But I was talking about you on the podcast all the time.
Yes, ma'am. I believe it's gonna happen.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, any other just like nuggets or tips for implementing these 3 hacks?
Yeah. So I would say when he has a lot of different hacks in this book. There's not any one hack that is going to get you from wherever you are right now to, shriveling up to whatever you want to be, right? It is kind of the combination of all of these that is going to make the noticeable difference.
And consistency.
Yes. So yeah, I would say definitely, start with one of these. Start with just the almonds, see how it makes you feel. But I would say don't get discouraged if you start eating the almonds and you're like, man, I haven't lost any weight. So, keep it going, one, because consistency is a big part of it. But it's probably going to be the combination of a couple of these hacks that you're able to implement into your life that make the difference, right? And doing them sustainably that are going to make the difference. So yeah, just, again, try maybe the almond one or the white potatoes and white rice, or the protein ratio, increasing your protein ratio. Start with one of them. Don't try to implement all 3 at once. Start with one of them one week. Maybe the next week you go to the next thing. And, after a while, you'll probably start noticing that you feel better. You're able to lose weight, able to keep the weight off, right? It may not be even that you notice a difference in the weight loss, but maybe you notice that you're not...
You stop gaining.
Exactly. Maybe you notice after you stop running 5 miles a day or whatever, you're able to keep the weight off easier. It may be in small, subtle changes that you notice, but definitely just keep going with it.
Love it. So thank y'all again for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we share our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
My name is Sinclair, aka
The Health Nerd. We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true. Peace.